Breaking news. I repeat, breaking news. Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley still are not seeing eye to eye. They keep bumping heads and they can't find common ground. Apparently, Jimmy Butler has just came out and told Pat Riley in a face-to-face meeting that he still wants to be traded and he will not sign a new deal with the Miami Heat and he's ready to kick rocks out of South Beach. This was a face-to-face meeting that they just had today, and Jimmy Butler reiterated and doubled down on what he's been saying. Um, Jimmy Butler also told Pat Riley that not only will he not re-sign with Miami, but he'll only use his player option next year of $52 million in the offseason as a trade maneuver. So Jimmy Butler has no intentions on playing in Miami. And he knows that Miami has no intentions of paying him 52 million. So he's like, if you guys don't want to pay me 52 million, then please get me the hell out of here. And there were rumors that were reported in the last couple of days that Jimmy Butler wasn't going anywhere. It was rumors saying that he's more than likely going to just end up staying with the Miami Heat after his 7-game suspension. Well, it looks like Jimmy Butler's like, no. After my 7-game suspension, you guys need to get me the hell out of here. And in case you didn't know and you're living under a rock or something, Jimmy Butler has been suspended for 7 games for multiple instances of conduct detrimental to the team over the season, and in particularly like the last month. He came out in an interview. He said basically that he's not finding any joy playing for the Miami Heat. And the Miami Heat basically came out with a statement, and they said through Jimmy Butler's actions, he has shown that he no longer wants to be a part of the team. And they basically let Jimmy Butler's representatives know that they will start talking and trying to find a trade for him. Obviously, through this whole time, they haven't been able to find a trade for him. Jimmy Butler released a list of teams that he was willing to play for. That included the Dallas Mavericks, the Phoenix Suns, the Houston Rockets, and some other teams. And well, it still hasn't been able to happen. I guess teams are playing hardball with the Miami Heat, and the Miami Heat's asking price is apparently too much. But now the Miami Heat have to get creative and they have to figure something out, because Jimmy Butler has just let them know that he still has no intentions on playing for the Miami Heat. And it's about time for the Heat to just take a hint and come off of Jimmy Butler. If he's not willing to play, if he doesn't want to be there, if he's still doing and displaying conduct that's detrimental to the team, and clearly it's a bridge that's burned and it's just reached the end of the road, they need to figure something out. And what's funny is the Warriors was another team as well. But these teams have basically not shown too much interest in Jimmy Butler. And also, there were teams that wanted Jimmy Butler. You had the Memphis Grizzlies, and then you had who was the other team? It was the Memphis Grizzlies, and it was one more team. But Jimmy Butler the Milwaukee Bucks. Jimmy Butler said he doesn't want to go there. So he scratched them off of his list of teams that he wants to go to. But now, see, it's getting fishy for all sides. Teams that want Jimmy Butler, the Miami Heat, and Jimmy Butler. Because Jimmy Butler can't say that I don't want to go to a team that wants him. And the team that wants him can't just tell the Miami Heat, give me Jimmy Butler. And the Miami Heat can't just tell Jimmy Butler, we're sending you anywhere. Well, the Miami Heat actually can't just send Jimmy Butler anywhere. And it's not really up to Jimmy Butler. But they're playing musical chairs right now. And Jimmy doesn't want to go to certain locations. Certain locations don't want Jimmy that Jimmy wants to go to. And the Miami Heat obviously want to get the best option for Jimmy. The thing about it, though, y'all, is Jimmy Butler has missed 6 games of his 7-game suspension. His 7th game will come tomorrow against the Los Angeles Lakers. The game he's slotted to be back is January 17th, in a few days, at home against the Denver Nuggets. So that is the big question that we all face. Will Jimmy Butler play after his suspension against the Denver Nuggets on the 17th? That's the biggest question, y'all. But in the meantime, the Miami Heat, they've been all right without Jimmy Butler. They're 3-3 in the 6 games that he's missed. Um, they lost to the Utah Jazz, lost to the Sacramento Kings, won 3 games in a row, though, on the road against Golden State, Utah, and Portland. And then they lost last night against the Los Angeles Clippers. But since Jimmy's been gone, Tyler Hero's been putting on a clinic. He had 26 points in the first game, 23 points against Utah, 32 points against the Portland Trailblazers. And last night, he had 32 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists without Jimmy and without Bam. So shout out to Tyler Hero. He's really showing that he can be that number one option with or without Jimmy. And so far in the season, Jimmy has had, I guess you could say, a mediocre season up to Jimmy Butler standards. Jimmy Butler has probably had his worst season since his 3rd year in the league. He's only averaging 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and these numbers are down from basically his last 10-year run. So maybe Jimmy Butler isn't finding any joy playing in Miami, and maybe he does need a new change of scenery so he can up his production if he hasn't fallen off. This is his 14th season in the NBA. But the Miami Heat, as of right now, they're the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. They're 20-18, and they're a middle of the pack team. So maybe they could use some new players to add a spark to them and help them to climb up the rankings. I mean, obviously, as you know, the Miami Heat aren't a tanking organization. They're looking to compete. They're looking to go into the playoffs, and they're looking to win a championship. You have Tyler Hero, you have Bam Adebayo, and you have some other players, Jaime Jaquez, Khalil Ware, Duncan Robinson, Terry Rozier, Kevin Love. You know, they have a fairly competitive roster, but they are going to need some upgrade to this roster, and maybe they can get it through a trade with Jimmy Butler. And with that being said, it's still some teams and it's still some players to look out for. Maybe not in a Jimmy Butler trade, but it is some players out there that will be traded. Zion Williamson is a big name to look out for. Brandon Ingram is a big name to look out for. Bradley Beal, even though he has a no trade clause, he's a name to look out for. Zach LaVine is a huge name to look out for. Now, I'm not saying that these are players that are going to be in a Jimmy Butler deal. I'm just saying these are players with names that have been swirling around this trade deadline. And, well, the Golden State Warriors seem to be the perfect target for Jimmy Butler, but they just came out earlier today. Steph, Steve Kerr, and Draymond Green all made a statement saying, essentially, that the Warriors shouldn't mortgage their future to win now. They're saying that the organization should do what's best for the future of the organization. And, well, that's not blow things up just to get a star that can help them win one more championship. And that would be somebody like, once again, Jimmy Butler, Zion Williamson, Zach LaVine, whoever that star may be that can come in and help the Warriors potentially win a championship right now. So maybe the Warriors are just saying that, or maybe they're serious and maybe they don't care about getting Jimmy Butler. So that could be something that's off the table. The Dallas Mavericks have also expressed no interest in Jimmy Butler. Same thing with the Houston Rockets, even though I believe that the Houston Rockets still may be in contention for Jimmy Butler. They're in a win now situation. Ime Udoka is that type of coach. They have the talent to do so. They're the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, and Jimmy Butler, I believe, will only help them. Also, the Phoenix Suns, and this seems to be the match made in heaven, if you will, for Jimmy Butler. You have Jimmy Butler in his contract, $49 million this year, $52 million trade kicker next year, or not trade kicker, player option next year. And then you have Bradley Beal, who also is making in the same money range. And also, they will be able to just trade them straight up. And you would think Bradley Beal would be a pretty even exchange for the Miami Heat to get him back. That's an option, but we just don't know yet. But that is somewhere where you could potentially see Jimmy Butler going. Aside from that, it's just kind of tricky for Jimmy Butler. But one other place that I do want to mention that I do think Jimmy Butler will be a good option for, keep an eye out for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You just never know. A lot of players have said that that's a destination where they would want to play. Obviously, that team is winning. They have the number 1 record in the league. And Jimmy Butler's somebody that they can slot in with. But you just never know. They would have to figure out the money situation on all of that. But that wouldn't surprise me if he went to Cleveland. But once again, we'll just have to see exactly what's going to happen with Jimmy Butler. It looks like the time is ticking and they're going to have to figure out something soon. They only have 3 days till Jimmy Butler's suspension is up, and he's going to have to come back and start participating with the team. So who knows just what's going to happen and whether Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley are going to have to deal with each other and he stays in Miami, or whether Jimmy Butler really is done and whether these two guys will finally get both of their wishes, and that's just to get the hell away from each other. So we'll just have to see. Once again, this is your favorite host, breaking more news to you, and I will be back as soon as the Jimmy Butler trade happens, and we are going to talk all about what happens. Or if he doesn't get traded, I'll be back to see why he didn't get traded and what this means for Miami going forward. In the meantime, y'all take it easy. We'll catch y'all on the panel in the morning. Be smooth.